Welcome back to ESPN 93.5. Don't hassle us, we're local. Messing around on the little computer here. I don't know what happened on the Vance Pizza Pub and Grill Facebook comment line, but we'll get that camera up and running. But good luck to Team You Got Action. Thanks for stopping in here today. Safe travels to them, and, best of luck beating up on those adults in Las Vegas in billiards. Now we got Matt Randazzo in studio from WQAD. Matt, how you doing, man?
Happy Monday, boys.
Happy Monday.
Quiet around here.
It is. Randazzler, when I say the double doink game, what does that mean to you?
Is that a game out in Vegas? No. The double doink game. Is that the stupid Bears game that they lost?
Hey! There's one.
What do I win?
You win nothing, but Jay is right for a moment.
Well, then I lost. If Jay is right, I feel
ultimately you've lost.
Yeah. I told him
Is that what people will call it?
No, nobody calls it that, but he's making the argument that everybody calls it that, and now you've proven that some people call it that.
No, I don't think I ever called it that. I thought it was just.
But you know what it is by
the first thing
context, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Jay is so happy right now.
He really is.
Yeah.
Like, you made his whole week.
Yes, because I told you that I started calling the I tried to just on the spot call the 76ers Raptors game last night the double doink shot.
He said it, and then he said, I just came up with that.
But that ended up good. So doink isn't doink like a bad? So like that, and that ended up a positive. Like if it would have double doinked and went in.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Like the
Raptors,
the Raptors ended up winning. That was a good thing. So yeah, I guess. I don't think anyone will ever call it the double doink. I think you're on your own.
Man.
I think you're on your own on that one.
Well, now with an attitude like that, it won't.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'll start using it.
Sure.
So then two people will use it.
See,
the ball's rolling.
That's about it.
We're getting there.
I don't think it's gonna go too far after that.
By the end of the summer, everyone's gonna be calling it the double doink game.
Nah.
They'll call it the greatest shot in Toronto Raptors history.
I did like you were genuinely happy when I said, "Is that the Bears game thing?" You're like,
because he said, "I told everyone knows what that is around here." Double doink.
And by the way, you've crushed my spirits, Randazzo, in 30 seconds.
Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So that's 1 out of 3 in the NBA that won on their home court.
You're going back to this again?
I am, because I really thought Houston was going to win. They were 7-point favorites going into that game.
That's a game Houston has to win, right?
Yes.
Well, especially with a couple of Hall of Famers like
I know,
Chris Paul
that's
and
what we're going to get at
James
too.
Harden.
Go. Chris Paul is just no good.
Come on, go.
Well, are you going to now imply that Chris Paul's not a Hall of Famer?
Are
we going to do this again?
love it. Yes.
Are we going to do this again?
That's just what I wanted.
He can go in the Hall of Fame, but he's not very good.
He is very good.
He hasn't won much.
No,
he has not won much.
Yeah,
but
he's good. He's really good. He's a Hall of Famer, but
is Dan Marino not a Hall of Famer?
Like if you look at it for,
he's got a lot of records though, and held a lot of records.
Okay,
but I think it's easier for one guy to win. I think one person makes a bigger difference on a basketball team than one guy makes a bigger difference on a football team. 22 players compared to 5.
Yeah,
but also in the NBA, it's not like
the
point guard dominant.
Yeah,
right. Like point guard, there's never like just a dominant point guard who's the one great player on a team. That team doesn't win the NBA championship.
I don't think it's Chris Paul's fault. How big of a deal is D'Antoni for he hasn't won anywhere.
No.
Like it's a fun system and they score a lot of points, but Phoenix, New York,
they were supposed to win.
Houston. Mm-hmm. Am I missing one? Did he go to LA for a little bit?
I think he was
with the Lakers
briefly
for a minute.
But I mean, we all know the ones you're talking about.
I mean, those are fun. I mean, and they're good. Those are some good teams in there, and they score a lot of points, and they win a lot of games in the regular season. But if you're Houston, that's not the whole. That's the end goal is now finally winning a championship, and it hasn't happened. And you took away Kevin Durant. I think that was fun because it reminded you of the very beginning of the Golden State Warriors when people actually kind of liked them, and before Kevin Durant went there, and just the way they played and the Splash Brothers and that kind of stuff. I mean. I think if I would have bet that game, I would have taken the points in the Warriors.
I would have taken the points, but
I was mad that
Seven's a lot.
I wanted to get to a game 7 because I was going to hammer the Warriors in game 7
at home.
At home.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
That number would have been what, probably like 4.5, 5.
Yeah. I think Vegas would have known.
Which is a little bit.
I thought
heavy.
the one the other day was low. I mean, what was it, 5.5?
Was that last Monday?
The game game 6
Okay,
was
so
5.5.
Well, I think
It
it came
was
out, it went up
7
at 7,
during
right?
the day. When during the day, it might have been
What
hammered
was
down.
what was it, 7?
It was 7 in the
I looked
morning.
at. I mean, and then towards the evening, it was 5.5. And I mean, you just got rid of Kevin Durant, and it's been a close series. You'd think, already a close series, and you lose your best player.
Yeah.
It'd be a bigger line than what it was.
Well, a fun one was last Monday. What was it, game 4 in that series? The over-under was 120.5, and I had the under, and against a friend of mine. And in the last 10
Called Vegas.
And in the last 10 seconds,
You call your
2
rookie
Hall
a
of
different
Famers
than I
missed
do.
free throws to keep that to keep it at 120.
God.
Like, and at any moment, that thing's like, it was
Yep.
done. It was toast. It was toast. The whole bet was toast. And Harden missed a free throw. Chris Paul missed a free throw with less than 10 seconds left to keep it at 120 and cash the under.
Oh.
Just a great day of gambling. Just a great day.
Speaking of this, I had a friend of a friend who talked to a friend of a representative of our like a politician, and they said the Illinois will have sports gambling by the end of the year.
I've heard some strange things about that as well.
You don't? Yeah, I think
They got to
it's-
be ready for football
Like,
season, right?
almost
Yeah, I think
like
it's
a-
before football season.
like almost like a kiosk of like, if we need to figure this out, get down. I just
Is this going to be like when they
like if you have like slot machines in your bar, you can basically have like a kiosk for like sports gambling in your bar.
I was gonna say, is this gonna be that thing where, like, when I moved back into town, there was a slot machine in every gas station, and you'd walk into a gas station, there'd be a line of 15
yeah.
people, like, waiting to play a slot machine in
and
the
then
gas
Iowa
station.
was like,
and I was
whoa,
like, what?
whoa, you can't do
See,
this.
I just
Iowa
assumed it
Gaming
would be
Association.
at like Jumers and places like that, and you would.
Have
and
a
I'd
sports book.
assume that they would have like an app, and you could do it on the app, but instead of having to, like, I've heard of these offshore things that people use. I don't know anything like that, but you have to. It takes a long time to get your money, or it takes a few
It's
days or a
frustrating.
week, and all
That's
that kind of
what I
stuff.
hear, yeah.
I mean, I've heard that, like, and I don't know if it's true or not, that there'll be an app on your phone, and it's a Jumers app, and you go and you
I've
click
heard that
and you
as
make
well.
a bet, and then on my way home from work, I go pick up my money, and life
Like,
is
you gotta
good.
go register it, and then you can
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
do in game. You can do you can do
Yeah.
basically everything.
That's what I thought. I mean, who knows?
That's what Iowa's is.
Okay.
Right? You go to the casino, prove that you live there. They give you an app.
Really?
And then you. But the thing is you can, there's a
So
thing
you have
called-
to live in Iowa to be able to do it. You can't just come.
No.
Okay.
As long as you're in Iowa, whatever else,
Yeah.
at that place, you can do it. But there's a thing called geofencing. And once you get 60 yards outside of the borders of Iowa, it doesn't work. So if you
So
go-
I can't
let's
sit
say-
at I live in Illinois. I can't sit at my home and gamble on my app.
But you can drive
yep.
down to River Drive
Yes.
and, like, what, hang out right.
I got reception.
Exactly.
I got it.
Like,
Okay, do
100%
it.
true.
You get a small paddle boat and you just go out in the middle of the Mississippi
All
and you
right.
can make your bets from there.
So I might need to invest in a paddle
so
boat.
I mean,
you
it's-
have, say you have friends in from out of town, you want to make it a weekend or whatever else, but once they go back home, the app doesn't work. Now, the Illinois one that I'm wondering about, and I don't know as much. I mean, I'm not as tight as I am with Wes Erickey, president of the Iowa Gaming Association.
Name drop.
Yeah, big time.
Man, I'm proud of you. That's a Randazzo right there.
Name
I don't know the Illinois, but I mean, I have heard this idea that if you have the slots in the bars in Illinois, like, you almost can have your own, like, kiosk OTB there, where they can sign up for an app there, and
Sure.
so they're gambling. If you have customers, and they're like, oh, someone starts talking about, they can just sign up for the app right there and download it. That's a little crazy to me, but we'll see what happens in
Yeah.
Illinois. So Illinois, but
I'd
yes,
like to keep it classy. I'd
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
keep.
yeah.
I
You
don't
know,
wanna
this
feel-
is not going to end up in a classy place.
I don't want to feel like a guy at a gas station
No,
trying to.
because you've been. I mean, I've been in those Chicago suburbs where you see the OTB and you're like,
Yeah.
and then you're like,
Is there
I
a
don't
drive-through
wanna-
in this thing?
Yeah, I don't want to go in that
Yeah.
OTB. I don't want to see the people that are in there right now.
But you kind of do.
They're like between what is it? A Church's Chicken and a
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the old school 7-Elevens or whatever, and you're like, I don't.
But what you don't know is everyone in that OTB is thinking that about you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, it's this guy
Look at
again.
him! Look at that Iowa plates. I don't want
Yeah.
him coming in here.
He's just in it for the
I want to
ponies.
keep sports gambling more of a second job than it is an addiction.
Yeah.
And if I go to a nice establishment like Jumers or
Mm-hmm.
then you feel like, okay, I'm just, but if we go to a gas station then I feel like now I have an addiction.
I think there should be a dress code.
Not a major one, but it's going to happen quick. It's going to be fun.
And like you said though, for Illinois, you really have to speed it up for football.
Yeah.
You got to get him
Yeah.
before football season, right?
Absolutely.
And for a while I thought it would be Illinois first. Didn't we, or no? Or was it always going to be Iowa first?
Thought it was going to be Iowa, but then Iowa, because their house, they They took the time off, and Illinois didn't. Their schedules are different. Illinois could have fast-tracked it, but
they didn't.
It's not high on their priority list. Whereas there was a lot of lobbyists going on, and the lobbyists in Iowa flipped. They went from saying we don't want to have it to
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So.
How is it not high on Illinois' list? Like, they're broke.
They got problems.
They're broke. I get that. I mean, hey, I live there. I get it. But like,
well, that's the thing. Is like
it's gonna help a problem.
It's the same thing with like
you're broke. Let's make money on something that everybody already does.
It's the same thing with like, decriminalizing or like legalizing weed.
Yeah.
Like you assume Illinois is just gonna like you're gonna wake up and it's gonna be done because like a bill's due on the bridge.
Yeah,
like that's I just assume that's how it's gonna work.
That bridge is gonna be weird when you get like halfway
Right.
across. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what's going on?
It's just a ramp.
Where's the rest of it? So boy, that sidetracked quickly. We went from Chris Paul to
No, because we were talking about the spread and everything else. Anyway, well, back to Dan Antonio, and now we have a new coach in Cleveland, which affects obviously the Big Ten.
That's crazy. He does. I think he's. I know that T-Roy hates Izzo. Isn't it T-Roy that can't stand Izzo? Or do you guys hate Izzo too?
He does not like Izzo. I'm not a big fan of Izzo. I respect what he does, or whatever else. But
I think between
he's a
the two
pompous
of them,
person.
I think those are your best two coaches in the Big Ten. I think Beeline does it legit, and I think the reason why he wants to get out is when I first see it. Okay, this was my thought process. Is I see it come up, and I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. Why not stay someplace where you're loved? You're going to make a boatload of money. I think it makes $4 million. I think it's 3.8 something, whatever. So you're gonna make a boatload of money. You're not going anywhere. You're comfortable until you're done, and then you just go off into the sunset and you're good. Why risk all that? Go to the NBA, get fired in 3 years.
That's what I said.
But here's the thing: he's 66 years old, and he's got 5-year guaranteed money. 5 years of a lot of money that says, okay, I'm going to go to Cleveland for 5 years, and if they want to fire me after the third year, then I'm almost 70 years old anyways. I'm just going to go home, count my money, and I'm good. And a lot of coaches, this is what they want to do. I mean, this is you look at his career, it's crazy. He started as a high school coach, went up the ranks through everything, like junior college, all this kind of stuff. And this is probably the last thing he's wanted to do. And he kind of flirted with Orlando and I think Detroit were two of them, like the last couple of years he's kind of flirted a little bit with. And I guess this is the one where it had the ties and all that kind of stuff. I think it has a lot to do with the culture around the college basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to be around this nonsense. He doesn't want to.
Right.
I mean, he does it. He does it correctly. He does it the clean way. And
kind of a fraud. And also, like, you have next to no chance to really win a national championship in the Big Ten. The last one is 2002, Michigan State.
Well, he gets frustrated too because of the early entry stuff and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, you look at his team, if it all came back, and you can say that about a lot of teams. Duke would be similar too. But if they all came back, they'd be a national championship contender. Now, here's the thing with the difference between what his team is and what Duke's team is. Duke's got a bunch of guys that are going to go in the top 10 in the NBA draft. None of his guys that are leaving early are going to be automatic first round picks, more or less lottery picks. You know what I mean?
Was
he's
Mitch
got
McGeary?
3 or 4 dudes leave it. No, but I'm saying this year, I think he's got like Angus, the Big Ten freshman of the year. He left early, but they have him as like a first round pick maybe. And then he's got like 2 or 3 other guys that left early. Might not even make the first round. And there's one thing if you're Duke guys and you're Kentucky guys and you're leaving early, but I think his frustration is the fact that he doesn't have those guys, but he's got a bunch. But you're still going early. I mean, and so I think it's just dirty and corrupt, and in order to continue to do so, you have to continue to do that. Like, how long can you continue to get recruits from guys that are just being? I think it's going to get worse and worse. I think the more is going to come out more and more about what's going on in college basketball. So
why keep fighting it? We can just go get cash out. Yeah, and you're retiring in 5 years anyway.
And somebody says, well, he doesn't like to recruit. I think he likes to recruit. I think it's the fact that he'd love to go do it normally, but I think the world of recruiting is changing, and I don't think he wants to continue to have to go down that road. First thing I thought of when that came up was DJ Carton made the right decision.
Sure.
Yeah. Because Michigan was, it was really close. I think he had told me that, he was ready to commit to Michigan when he visited there. And he came home and he said, you know what, let's go. I want to visit Ohio State, and it was going to be a few weeks away. So he moved his Ohio State visit up, got to Columbus, and realized that's where he wanted to be. But and he said going into Columbus, it was going to have to take them doing something crazy in order to get him to not go to Michigan and not do something crazy illegally, but just, knock him off his socks. And that's what they did. And he ends up going to Ohio State. First thing I thought of was, wow, DJ Carton made the right decision. Because then he'd be going, because that's what people do. They don't commit to schools. This nonsense of you should commit to a school is stupid, and it's 20 years old. You commit to coaches. You want to go and play for coaches. and he up and leaves a month before workouts start this summer.
And that
they're right around the corner.
And that kid would have he couldn't transfer, right, and still play.
I don't know about that. I texted somebody this morning to find out
Those
that
rules are
because
so weird. And
I think you can get a waiver or something, but it's the nonsense of having to my opinion is even if a coach leaves, like I say, if Fran McCaffrey left tomorrow, I think all of his players should be able to go wherever they want to go.
Well, they should be able to go wherever they want to go anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things.
If a coach can go and leave and go coach the next year, why can't a player go transfer whenever he wants to
Absolutely.
transfer?
And what people are going to say is, well, that he didn't commit to Fran McCaffrey, he committed to the university. I'm like, that's not the case anymore. It's just not what it is. I mean, I didn't go work at. I went to work at WQAD because I wanted a place to work at WQAD. I didn't go before a news director or anything like that. But that's old school. That's not the way it is. A lot of places you want to know who your boss is and what kind of systems they run and what kind of work environments they have. They don't go because there's a name on the building. They want to know what that building's like. And that's the same thing with the basketball program. They don't go because Iowa's on the front of the jersey or Michigan's on the front of the jersey. They go because their coaches are doing what they're doing at those universities.
I texted friend Mark Van Severn, who's a big Michigan fan, this morning, and he kind of said some of the same things you're saying, Dazzo, but he said triple bypass surgery in the last offseason, did it, I think. He said he's been pretty upfront about finishing his coaching career in the NBA. 50-plus years coaching, never been an assistant on any level. Probably only had 5 or 6 years left anyway, and made the jump. Brought Michigan back to the national contenders. And he says, sad, but at least I got to enjoy college basketball again for about 7 years.
Where do you put the Michigan job? Like, where do you put that in the Big Ten? Like, is that
it's
a top two,
in the Big
3?
Ten, it's a 3.
I'll tell you, I should look it up.
Is it in? It's
Ken
above
Prince.
Indiana, right?
Ken Prince called me before, or not called, but he tweeted something out about some website, I don't know what it was, did a top coaching jobs in the Big Ten. And then they did like the why is it good, why is it bad? And it was really interesting because the top job, before I look it up, I can tell you the top job was, what did you say Michigan should be above?
Indiana.
Indiana was the top job.
Really? Still?
Is what this,
Because of what, fan
remember,
base
this
and
is...
What do they traditionally?
This is by
Do they
the
traditionally
right?
give you a longer leash?
This is by the stadium, and it's
okay. Yeah, I remember the stadium.
Indiana number 1. Hoosiers are one of the more storied programs in college basketball.
Yes,
but most of the success has come decades ago. They have 5 national championships on their resume, 8 Final Fours. Blah 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 blah. The knock on them is they haven't been good in a long time. The fans need to get over it. But keep going down. What would you put too?
I mean, it sounds like Nebraska football.
Probably Michigan State too.
Yes,
Either Ohio State.
Michigan State's too, and I'd flip flop those almost right now. And I get longevity. And
Indiana doesn't make sense anymore. It's just not. They're not a contender.
But here's
they haven't been good.
As we go down this list, that you're going to say that about a lot of schools.
Yes.
Because why? Because when's the
It's
last
the
time?
Big- it's the Big Ten.
When's the last time they won a national
It's
championship?
really hard getting elite college basketball players to come play in the Big Ten when you can go to Kentucky and you're going to get drafted in the top 5.
So this has
That's true.
Indiana 1, Michigan State 2, Ohio State 3.
That's what you were saying.
I'm fine with that.
Purdue
Other
4,
than
Michigan
Indiana.
4.
then Purdue 5.
The knock on Michigan football school.
Okay.
Where they win, their brand is national, is what one Big Ten. And the thing is, they have this done by, and I should read the beginning of where they got all this from and how they ranked it, because I think it's done by I think it's from talking with Big Ten coaches and assistants and ADs. So when they quote people, they quote from a Big Ten athletic director. So they're not saying who it is, but these are number 5.
Purdue.
No. Maryland.
Oh,
Really?
okay. Yeah.
Where they win is
Why?
location. They have
East
abundance
Coast.
of players,
Yeah.
great fan support, terrific arena. The knock,
So it is
don't,
Rutgers 6?
no identity in out. Yeah. Purdue
little,
is 6.
A little bit of history with Maryland too. A little bit, if you can. Depends how far back you go, but yeah.
Yeah,
Who's last before we get there?
Nebraska.
Nebraska's got to be
Penn
last,
State.
right?
not even close. Would you be? Do you think Nebraska is above or below Iowa?
They have to be below, right?
Below.
They're above Iowa.
How?
Nebraska is 9. Iowa is 11.
Can you name one NBA
You know what
basketball
it's gonna
player from
come-
Nebraska?
No, yeah, and I get what you're saying, but can you name one from Iowa?
Yeah. BJ Armstrong?
30 years ago.
AC
Earl?
25 years ago.
Les Jepson?
I don't think less. Brad Lojas.
Lost played.
I think
Wade
what, and I
Lookinville?
didn't. The new facilities is what gives them.
Okay.
I mean, their
Yeah.
facilities are big time. So they say when the facilities are ridiculous, they can make a case that they have the best in the league, which is true. Fans also show up because there's nothing else to do in Lincoln. That's from one Big Ten head coach.
Well, there's nothing to do in a lot of Big Ten cities.
Yeah, the knock is there's no players in the state. Probably just a percentage of the state of, probably just the perception of the state of Nebraska.
When's the last time you were like, Nebraska's pretty good at basketball?
So we had Maryland at 5, Purdue at 6, Illinois at 7. Here's the knock on Illinois. This is what Ked was kind of cranky about, which I can kind of. The fan base has no clue. Such unrealistic expectations. They are nuts. Plus, Chicago has players, but it might take a little more than a scholarship to get a lot of them. That's from a Big Ten assistant.
Wow.
Right.
You got to open up your mind. I mean, Chicago's Chicago. You got to play the game in Chicago. You have to.
Which, I mean, if an anonymous Big Ten assistant saying that about just
true.
anyone from Chicago to get them to Illinois, what's happening at every school, every like major school?
I tell you what, Illinois had a funky weekend because they had a TJ. Oh gosh, I'm going to mess up the Holyfield. TJ Holyfield. He was a grad transfer from Stephen F. Austin, so he was recruited by and played for Brad Underwood. Big time kid, really good player. Pick and pop 4, can do a lot of good things. And Illinois was the favorite. Everyone thought to land him, and then Kentucky got involved. Texas Tech got involved. Final 3 was Texas Tech, Kentucky, or Texas Tech, Kansas, and Illinois, and he picked Texas Tech. Okay. And of course, now the fan base is going absolutely nuts. It's going to be an interesting and entertaining year in Champaign because I think Brad Underwood's doing a decent job, but he got to win. You have to.
Yes.
I mean, you have to win.
Illinois should be better at everything.
Right?
Like every
that's
sport.
not saying much because this is not disrespect. A lot of fans are going to get really mad. They're almost the worst in everything. And not everything, but in the big ones.
They're disappointing. They're certainly disappointing in
baseball
everything.
program's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go through sports in which their golf program is awesome, but the big things they're not very good at, and that's what most fans look at and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that they should be better in everything.
They should be better at everything,
but they should be a lot better in everything.
Yeah,
and I'm a Brad Underwood. I think he can do the job there. I think you got to give him time. I've been off the Lovie Smith train for a year and a half now. So I mean, that's been a long.
The Lovie Smith train has been in the station for like 8 years, guys. Like nobody's riding that train.
God, I remember when they hired him down in Tampa. I was down in Tampa. I'm like, good luck with this. Have fun. I know you have to go, but I want to ask you a couple things then about this. One, Isaiah Moss to Kansas?
So it's down to 4. There was a good article. There was down to 4. I talked to his dad. It's Arkansas, who sounds like, according to Dad, just knocked his socks off. Arizona State, Kansas, and Oregon.
Okay.
Said 50 schools reached out to him, including half the Big Ten. He said in the article that he would, because of the respect and love that he has for the Iowa fan base, he wouldn't go to a Big Ten school, and he eliminated Iowa State right off the bat. He just didn't want to do that, didn't want to go down there and all that kind of stuff. It's a little of both. Is Isaiah Moss like Kansas? I don't want to say Kansas worthy because he's a good basketball player, but it's almost about supply and demand. And there's some really good schools that have a demand for a shooter or for a player, and there's no supply out there. Like, talk to Kakert on Wednesday about what Iowa can do. You might have already with their open scholarships. There's not a lot out there. Yeah. I mean, this is a 3-year starter that late in the game decided to transfer. Well, it's already been picked over. Like, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Isaiah because he can play and he can shoot, but it's not. He didn't just decide to transfer and then all of a sudden the Blue Buds said, yes, this is a guy we definitely need. It's a little bit about supply and demand as well. So it's crazy because, I mean, Kakert might have talked about it, but he's probably still at Iowa. I think the big thing there, and this is what I've heard or think, is that he was starting games, but he wasn't finishing games. Mm-hmm. Connor was finishing games. And I think that's what really had him off track and not happy at Iowa. So
why does Beeline not wait a little bit longer to take an NBA job, keeping an eye on the 76ers?
He's 66 years old.
It's only going to be a couple weeks, guys.
I see what you're saying.
It's only going to be a couple weeks till this 76ers job.
I think the guy gets canned for sure.
Yes.
And this is, I don't think...
I
don't know anything, but from what I've read this morning, because that interests the heck out of me this morning. That's one of those things where like kids got neglected for like a half hour while Daddy. It's like I was finding stuff on Disney Junior. You've been there. It's like,
breakfast.
Hey, you guys want to watch Paw Patrol's on? All right. So I could read some stuff, and I think he wanted to keep his family in Michigan and his his wife especially in Michigan.
Sure.
And so this is a real quick drive. I also heard that his son took a head coaching job at Eureka, maybe, which is like 3-hour drive from Columbus. So I think
also
it's
straight expectations, right? You take the 76ers job, you're expected to win next year. You take the Cleveland job,
You're expected to get fired within 3.
You got 2 or 3 years
You
to
got
be
guaranteed
bad,
money.
right?
It's location with that. Real quick with the basketball stuff, worst job in the Big Ten for basketball-wise, they had Penn State.
Yeah.
And their facilities aren't bad, but that Bryce Jordan Center used to be really nice and good, and it's not that good anymore because it's a little older and all that kind of stuff. Rutgers is 13, Northwestern is 12, Iowa came in at 11. So Minnesota was between Iowa and Nebraska. The knock on Iowa is there aren't a whole lot of players in Iowa, and you aren't going into Chicago, Indiana, or Ohio and beating guys for the kids in those states. Yeah. Which makes sense. When they win, the state has a lot of dogs named Carver. There's no doubt. Okay, that makes sense. There's no doubt that Iowa is a state school. It's easy to get kids into school and keep them in. So,
right on.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where Isaiah Moss lands.
Well, thanks for coming in. I know you're busy
I apologize
today.
that I got to run out of here all that kind of stuff.
It's okay.
It's that busy time of year. It starts this next 4 weeks where it's kind of funky and fun. All the postseasons on both sides.
Yeah,
Get ready
you're
to
all
rock
over
and
the
roll.
place.
But I appreciate it, boys. I miss everybody.
Good to have
I
you.
looked at T. Roy's press pass. I kind of got teary-eyed.
Yeah,
we all did.
The big jolly fella right there. Hey, the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing.
Yes.
Facebook, go to Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. Log on there, and there's a few teams still available. We'd love to have you out there June 8th at Highland Springs.
Perfect.
Very
Thank you
nice.
so
All
much.
right, boys.
Thanks, Dazzo.
Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Yep.
Oscar's Pub is Bettendorf's newest spot for craft beer cocktails, located in front of the TBK Plex, facing Forest Grove Road. Oscar's is primed to help you party. On June 22nd, Oscar's is proud to welcome for the first time to the Quad Cities My Posse in Effect, a BC Boys tribute band from St. Louis. Tickets are on sale in advance for $10 from the Facebook page for Oscars, or will be $15 at the door the day of. Festivities will start at 6 p.m., and the Posse will perform at 9 p.m. That's Oscars Pub, 5027 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
This is UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local on ESPN 93.5.
Hi, I'm Kent Pilcher from Estes Construction. And at Estes, we believe the future of our community lies in the ability to ignite the potential in all Quad City children. That's why we support Big Brothers and Big Sisters in raising needed dollars for youth mentoring programs. Businesses can help by becoming a fearless leader and engaging their employees in going over the edge and rappelling down the side of the Hotel Blackhawk on August 24th. Come on, don't leave us hanging.
For more information, go to overtheedgeqc.org.
This is Emma. And this was her last piano recital. Because Emma was killed on Interstate 57 in Jefferson County during a crash involving impaired and distracted driving. Emma was 18. Please, drive responsibly. It really is a matter of life or death. Learn more at lifeordeathillinois.com.
ESPN 93.5 wants you to be an insider. Access great contests and giveaways and be in the know at ESPN935.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged, and ESPN Quad Cities. From local to global, ESPN 93.5 has you covered with your Quad Cities sports talk show. It's Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Talk sports with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay Bird, Serge, and you. Weekdays from noon to 2 on ESPN 93.5.
Your Quad City Steamwheelers are back in action Friday, May 17th against Cedar Rapids, and it's going to be big. It starts at 5 p.m. with a huge tailgate party with music, food, and fun. Plus, it's Kids Night. Kids get a free ticket with each paid adult ticket. Simply text QC Kids to 313131 for your free kids voucher. So round up the family for a night of tailgating and Steamwheeler football. Presented by Iowa 80 Truck Stop. That's Friday night, May 17th. Be there.
Every Chicago Cubs baseball game is heard right here.
Deep right field. This ball's got a chance. Get out the tape measure, long gone.
This is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 93.5.
All right, welcome back to the Hassle Palace here at ESPN 93.5. 105 on Monday, May 13th, day after Mother's Day. We got all kinds of things to look forward to. I didn't get to read to Randazzo Stocking's email he sent me last night. He gave me permission to read this on the air. So Stocking says the NBA Finals are set.
Who's he got?
Milwaukee versus Golden State. There is no way the NBA would ever allow Toronto to face Portland in the NBA Finals. It would set a record for the worst finals ever. See why the Lakers and not Sacramento faced New Jersey back in 2002.
So he's doing the NBA conspiracy thing.
Yes, the NBA prizes ratings, and a Milwaukee-Portland final would bring dismal ratings. Teams from Canada never bring good ratings news, and that is why the NBA would not allow Toronto to face Golden State. My feeling is Golden State sweeps Portland, and Milwaukee needs just 5 games to toss Toronto. I would love to see the Bucks bounce Golden State. That's from our man Stockpile, Brian Stocking.
Does Milwaukee really have that much more of a pull than Toronto, though? Like,
yes.
appeal? I mean, I get it, Giannis, but...
Giannis is. That's why. I mean, he's the reigning...
You think every person in Canada would be watching if Toronto makes the finals, right? Like, every person in Canada's in that.
Depends about the...
Why can't Canadian teams draw the crowd?
I feel like Toronto's
what about
a little
the NHL? What about the Stanley Cup Finals, though?
Yeah. Would Canada isn't going to watch the Stanley Cup Finals if a Canadian team's in the finals?
Well, won't be a Canadian team in the finals.
There's never a Canadian.
But there'll be Canadians.
There's always Canadians.
Are they going to tune in just because Drake is like a team ambassador of Toronto?
The kiss of death.
Yeah, is that really true that he was wearing like 76ers
I think that was
warm-up shorts?
Photoshopped.
Yeah.
But still, I wouldn't want him supporting any one of my teams.
Anyway, it is Monday, May 13th. I want to remind some people that although yesterday was National Mother's Day, and there's also National Limerick Day as well, but I dropped the ball and didn't write a limerick.
Celebrate. Yeah,
today is National Frog Jumping Day.
Big day.
In 1865, Mark Twain published his first short story, Jim Smiley and His Jumping Frog. He later changed the name and published it as the celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County. Look at that. Yeah, did the county.
I went to Mark Twain Elementary.
Yeah,
I know
there
these
you go.
things.
Yeah.
2 fathoms deep,
The
Jay.
story also had a third title, The Notorious Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. Yeah. The current frog jumping record was set in 1986 by Rosie the Riveter. Get it? Do you get it?
It's a play on Riveter.
Rosie, whose jump was 21 feet 5 3/4 inches.
Why don't we have frog jumping competitions anymore?
I don't know.
And why can't we gamble on when is Iowa finally going to bring frog jumping back?
I don't know. Today is also National Apple Pie Day. It's observed annually on May 13th.
So yesterday was Limerick Day and Mother's Day?
Oh, there was all kinds of, yesterday.
And then today's Frog Jumping Day and Apple Pie Day.
I got more. It's also National Women's Checkup Day.
All right.
Yeah, so the goal of the National Women's Checkup Day, it started in 2016, the day, not the regular checkups, which is to, get some healthy habits for women to improve their health. That's the goal of that. National Fruit Cocktail Day.
Oh, big day.
National Crouton Day.
What?
Yeah.
The best part of a salad. Gotta show them some love.
Do you like the Texas toast croutons? Like, how do you like your croutons?
I prefer my croutons not stale.
Well, that's kind of the croutons' whole thing, right?
Point of it.
I prefer my croutons fresh. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
I'm gonna stop saying you.
Please.
This is also observed annually on May 13th. Why these days are just the best. The fact that somebody went about and registered these things.
Well, somebody somewhere was like, "This is really important." Like, when is croutons gonna have their day?
Yeah.
I appreciate the passion.
That's right. I can't even list my top 5 favorite croutons. I don't. Yeah. So I guess what's your top 5 favorite frogs of all time? Kermit, right?
Kermit's up there. The WB frog is he might like low key he might be the best one.
The Budweiser frogs.
Yeah.
There you go.
They got the
Frogger.
Frogger's in. Yeah.
And then we just need one more.
Pepe the frog, the meme frog.
No, you can't do that. By the way.
Why?
Great. That's a great point.
Pepe.
Why don't we just get right to that then?
Why?
Because Pepe the frog has been linked to alt-right, white power conservatives.
Oh. Pepe.
Is this just the theme of when I come on the show?
He got
now?
yeah, this is all we're talking about.
Why?
Poor guy. Every time he comes on,
Give us your in-depth thoughts about the race issues in America.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to call from work.
It's
take that shirt off. Yeah,
it's Monday in the Quad Cities. We need to know.
I'm not kidding you. Pepe the Frog is linked.
Yes.
Why though? Like,
I'd have to pull up the article because it's the same article that I read about when I pulled up the.
What starts as a joke, eventually people end up taking serious, and everyone's an idiot. It's
Okay,
just,
what starts as a joke or someone saying something or whatever else or pointing something out to like what Nick is saying is either the alt-right to say, this isn't a political conversation, but to be like, well, might as well just keep running with it because we get our name out there, or like you said, someone doing it just to really get the left going, right?
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, that's annoying. Leave him out of everything, you know? Just leave him to memes. Let it be.
So who's the fifth frog? It's not Pepe.
Yeah, I don't want him linked in that top 5 now.
Who is the fifth frog?
If it goes Kermit, the WB frog, those Budweiser frogs, and then Frogger, and it's National Frog Jumping Day. Is there another frog that's famous for anything? Right now, it's Rosie the Riveter.
She's got the record.
She's got the record for long. I mean, since 1986.
She deserves a top 5 spot then.
That's what, and yeah, that's your top 5. I'm about to put that out there.
It's a bold list. You're a bold man.
Hot takes here.
Yeah.
Hot takes. All right, so let's just put this to bed, though, Nick, because we talked about this off the air, and if we're going to talk about these signs. Last Tuesday night on a game, Doug Glanville was on NBC Sports Chicago.
Yes.
A young gentleman flashes the OK sign or got him sign, or some people may say that it's white power or whatever else. You say, Nick, that 100% you do believe that Yahoo did it to...
I said you have to look at context, right?
Okay.
And the context of this is one of two things. He's either the guy who's doing it because he knows it's racially charged, or he's the guy who's doing it because he knows it's going to trigger the libs or whatever it might be, right?
But you don't think he's playing the circle game?
No, because there's never been a thing to do that on TV where you play the game with people at home who can't actually play the game. It's not in context. There's no way that's what it is. Also in the context, you have to take the Cubs' reaction to it. They might have gone overboard on we're going to ban this guy for life, but you also have to look at what was it, like 3-4 months ago when the Ricketts email thing came out, and then their Addison Russell problem. So the Cubs have to go overboard to be like, we are good people here, and we're not going to put up with this. So context is everything in this.
That is a great point. Why not try to deflect? Like what Ricketts' email,
right,
which has been put to bed, and also try to deflect Addison Russell at the same time.
Right.
I mean, just kind of be like, hey, go over the top.
This is like if Theo go out and put out like that tweet or whatever that condemns every, like, we're going to take a hardline stance. We're good people. Please don't remember the things we've done in the past.
Yes. So basically what you're saying, you can't really play the circle game on the television because every time someone goes, hey, man, I saw you on television, do that, and then the guy gets to automatically punch you twice, right?
Yeah, how do we not know he's just that tool that knows that he's going to be on TV and texts his buddy, hey, watch, you're going to see me on TV, and then does it, and then he's like, I get to punch you 2 times when I see you.
But
he looked like a tool. Like, he had a toolish look about him.
Oh, no doubt. I assume he is a tool, right?
And I think he probably plays that game deep in his 30s like he is now.
Well, that being said... when you're doing the thing and it's a joke for you and it's not like if it's actually not racially charged in any way and you're doing that thing, when the racists are like, hey, he's doing our thing, you're kind of doing the thing.
Yeah, that's a bad look.
It's dumb and everyone's an idiot, but this is where we are.
Yeah, I think the problem lies in that he didn't return any phone calls, so it leaves it up to interpretation, right?
Yeah, that's
or is it just like, just don't answer the phone call? Because if you say like, no, I was doing the circle game, everyone says you're a tool, and he's probably definitely not going to say I was doing the white power.
Well, rather be a tool than like a racist tool, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
At the end of the day,
yeah, just
it's still better just to be like a complete moron, right? Yeah. Like we're still at least there.
I just blame it on. I just say I was drunk.
I don't know. I don't. What do you say? Like what explanation could he give where you would be like, okay,
I had too much of the mother's milk. Which is the reason this whole thing started. That we're going to talk.
The
about
only
it.
explanation that could possibly make sense. He's like, I didn't even know I was doing that.
I didn't even know. I was trying to say, yeah. And then you've got all these the photos that come up that people in the past that have done the OK signs.
Right. Which, again, doesn't mean anything because that didn't mean that 6 months ago. And now it's slowly
Goes back
creeping.
all the way to like 2015 when it had to be proven to be a hoax.
Right.
Yes.
But again, the meaning of things change over time.
Yeah.
And here's where we are.
Long story short, Pepe the Frog's not making our list.
He's not a top 5 frog.
Not making it.
Not yet.
Sorry, Vince.
R.I.P. Pepe.
Maybe if he can redeem his
Return our phone calls, Pepe.
Yeah.
Clear the air.
come on the show.
So here we are. We're in the conference finals. This is where everyone says they're finally going to watch the NBA more.
I mean, if you didn't watch yesterday, you missed 2 awesome games.
2
Yes.
great games, yeah.
I really wanted to have another game 7, but that's
Would have been nice. But what are you going to do?
not rely on Chris Paul to be my point guard.
He was great in that game. Like, he was bad the first 6, but he was great, or bad the first 5. He was good. He was great in game 6.
So do these matchups? Do you like these matchups? Portland, Golden State. What, you just kind of thought Golden State was going to tear through everybody anyway?
Like, Houston Golden State was the Western Finals, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone assumes that.
Yeah.
I do think Portland gives them a better series than Denver would have. Because Portland's got a couple different shot creators. But,
Okay.
yeah, it's a 5-game series, probably. Milwaukee, Toronto, I think, is really a coin toss. I have no idea who's going to win that series.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to be a lot better series.
Like, historically, Milwaukee shouldn't win that because they're a young team and they're still kind of like putting it. Like, it doesn't happen a lot where like a team gets the 1 seed for the first time ever and they just blow through the playoffs. Like, you have to build that in the NBA. But they just crushed Boston. I mean, they killed them. So they could beat Toronto. It wouldn't surprise me. And it wouldn't surprise me if Toronto beat them.
Yeah, we're not looking at these games to start when? Tuesday, Wednesday?
Tuesday night is the first game of the Western Conference Finals. Wednesday night is the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals. The NBA Draft Lottery is Tuesday before the Western Conference starts.
All right, so talk to me about the Draft Lottery. They're going to have that on beforehand.
Yeah, I think it's 8:30 or Eastern, and then 9 o'clock the Warriors start.
Do we know what ding-dongs are going to represent each one if the GMs aren't going to be there?
No.
Like Patrick Ewing's going to be there for the Knicks, right?
No, he does. He coaches elsewhere now.
Oh,
right?
but
Yeah.
he can still make it an appearance. They're not in the middle of...
He'll probably be there somewhere. Like Elgin Baylor
making
still
an
doing
appearance. He'll be there for the Knicks.
it. The guy from the 76ers, he usually shows up.
Who's Uncle Sam? What
Who
guy?
was Colangelo? He's not there anymore.
No. Remember, he had to leave.
But he was there for...
he took the sword last year because
yeah.
of the tweets. Now, that was last year. Now someone's got to take it this year. And it's
Some
gonna be
owner's
Coach
going to
Brown.
send his kid.
That's Dan Gilbert.
That always happens.
So, this is we're positive.
Dominique Wilkins will be there for the Hawks.
Easily.
Right?
You feel confident that the Knicks are going to get this pick, right?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why?
I don't think the NBA draft lottery is rigged. Just in general. Like, it may have been in the past. I don't know. I don't think it was then either. But I don't think it's rigged now.
Now that's a hot take.
And the Knicks, would it, like, if Zion goes to the Knicks, does it make the Knicks a contender all of a sudden? It doesn't. No. Like, maybe they're more watchable, but it doesn't make them good.
I'll give Stephen A. like a month of material, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I like this a lot. On www.tankathon.com, you can do the draft simulator.
Yes.
That's a great name.
Yeah. So, let's see this. Let's sim the lottery. Ooh, in this version, the Lakers get the number 1 pick. Phoenix got the 2. Cleveland got the 3. Washington the 4. New York with the 5. So in this version of simulated lottery, which is, I guess this would just lead to, speculation? We could say like, oh, because Lakers have originally they were in the 11th spot based on their record. Yeah, you could just do this all day long. This isn't quite as fun as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the Knicks every time, and then I could yell at Nick and say, see? Even Tankathon.
See, even this computer program agrees.
Yeah.
It's the NBA draft lottery's rigged.
Watson agrees.
Yeah. Are you finding out who's all going to be here or whatever else?
It doesn't show who. It doesn't say who's going to show up.
it
But
shows.
look, okay. So here,
Yes, it does.
Here are the odds. New York Knicks have a 14% chance of getting the first pick. Cleveland has a 14% chance. Phoenix has a 14% chance. And then after that, it goes Chicago, Atlanta, the Wizards, New Orleans, Memphis, Dallas, Minnesota, Lakers, Charlotte, Miami, Sacramento. If Sacramento somehow gets the first overall pick, the 76ers own that pick.
Ooh.
So
every one of
there's
those
a
teams
chance the Bulls
need
get it.
him.
We can just go crazy.
That'd be great, right?
Horace Grant is going to be representing the Bulls.
Nice.
Yes.
Is he going to wear the goggles?
Yes.
I hope so. Nick Gilbert will be there for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Sure.
Kyle Kuzma is going to go for the Lakers.
The Coos?
The Coos. Patrick Ewing will be there for the Knicks.
Really?
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton's going for the Suns.
Okay.
And all the rest are all like operations or presidents or head coaches.
So
Now,
a guy the Lakers almost traded is going to go represent the franchise.
Is he going to be on this? If they get the number one pick, is he going to be on the team tomorrow? Right.
Jamie Gertz for the Atlanta Hawks ownership group. Wasn't she an actress?
Wasn't she on 90210?
I don't think.
Was she on Melrose Place?
I'm pretty sure she was in that show, like Still Standing or whatever else. She was in, and also probably a movie with Matthew Modine in the 80s. Jamie Gertz.
She was in every movie with Matthew Modine in the 80s, right?
It can't be the same Jamie Gertz, right? She's not part of the Atlanta Hawks ownership group.
Be a weird coincidence. Don't hear of a whole lot of Gertzes.
I gotta Google that.
Weird.
Yeah, really weird. No, I think it's I think you think the Raptors and Bucks are it's a 50-50, Nick?
I don't know who's going to win that series at all. No. What about Mr. Toad from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? Is he a top 5 frog?
He's in
Toad,
he is
not a
in the
frog.
top 10 list that someone sent to us on the Vans Pizza Bum Girl Facebook comment thread. Yes, Mr. Toad is in the top 10 list somewhere. I'm trying to look at percentages here. Playoff forecast. Milwaukee right now is still, based on a playoff forecast from playoff probabilities at basketballreference.com, based on 1,000 simulations of the remainder of the playoffs, Milwaukee has the best championship odds at 48.6% and a 70.8% to win their series.
That seems high.
That seems real high. Golden State is at 69.3% to win theirs and 26.9%. Toronto's got 15.6% to win, in Portland at just under 9% to win the entire.
What's Vegas have these series prices at? Do we know?
I could look that up, though. We can take a quick break, and I'll do that, though.
That sounds good.
Yeah, let's look at the series prices and try to find some value. And then after that, we got to talk about it. A dragon did some things.
Hey, Quad Cities, stop going to your favorite social media sites asking for suggestions of where to get your oil changed, who does the best tattoo work, or the best place for lunch in the QCA. Pick up Locals Love Us guide all over the Quad Cities. It's easy to navigate, table of contents to help you find wherever you are looking for. Or go to the website at localsloveus.com, click on Quad Cities, and then browse favorites. It's so easy to use, and they even rank the most popular places for you. While you're on their website, don't forget to vote for our show. Don't hassle us. We're local, and all of our sponsors. That's Locals Love Us, your guide to the best.
This is Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. They work, live, and give back to the Quad Cities.
I'm Chantel from Davenport, and I just won a free roof from All Major Restorations.
If you missed our last free roof giveaway, another one is coming soon. And when storm damage hits, let All Major Restorations help you. They make the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Storm damage estimates are always free. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities. Go to amrestorations.com. Maybe you're ready to be a homeowner or looking towards retiring a little early. When you have plans, Midwest Bank has ideas to help bring them to life. From personal loans to mortgages, home improvement loans, and more, the experts at First Midwest Bank will work with you to give you and your family momentum toward life. You have plans. First Midwest Bank has ideas. Talk to one of our expert bankers in the Quad Cities today and learn more at firstmidwestbank.com/ideas. First Midwest, your local Quad Cities bank. Loan subject to credit approval. If security interest is property insurance is required.
ESPN 93.5 wants you to be an insider. Access great contests and giveaways and be in the know at ESPN935.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged, and ESPN Quad Cities. From local to global, ESPN 93.5 has you covered with your Quad Cities sports talk show. It's Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Talk sports with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay Bird, Serge, and you. Weekdays from noon to 2 on ESPN 93.5.
Car old? Need it sold? Get your spring cleaning done early and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles, they'll pick it up for you, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible, so give the Arrowhead Ranch a call at 309-799-7044 or visit them at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? The Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction is October 19th in Coal Valley.
Blue Jack! Memorial Day is just one day to save, but at Blue Jack Honda, it's Memorial May. That's huge Memorial Day Honda savings all month. Lease the new 2019 Honda CR-V LX for $299 a month with zero money down. Get to Memorial May at Blue Jack Honda.
Blue Jack!
Honda CR-V LX all-wheel drive. Automatic 36 months, 12,000 mile per year lease. 0 plus 0 security deposit due at signing. Plus tax, title, license, and 180 dock fee. Manufacturer incentives applied with approved credit. Ends 5/31/19.
This is Matt Koss of the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
Excuse me.
Hey, this is the ladies' room, you freak!
Sorry, ma'am. We just sold this bike here.
So why do you have motorcycles in the bathroom?
Well, you see, Brenny's just received the new Suzuki motorcycles and ATVs that have been on order and are finally here. Along with all the parts and new Suzuki accessories, there's just no space left. Just a few short years ago, we built a 20,000 square foot showroom. And now with all this new inventory, we don't have squat for room. Excuse the pun.
Very funny. Hey, you know, I do like this new Suzuki motorcycle.
You should see the GSXRs we got in the men's bathroom, or the 1200 Bandit, or the Marauder that we keep down in the wine cellar. Come to think of it, I've never been in the ladies' bathroom before. Wow, look at all the latex vending machines you got in here.
That's Playtex.
Yuck, now I gotta go.
Bernie's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf across from Alcoa. Almost.
Welcome back to ESPN 93.5 here in the Hassle Palace. Brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Security Solutions. We are in studio with Mitch from Front Street Brewery, and Nick is sitting in for T-Roy as well.
Hey. Let's talk Jamie Gertz.
I tell you what, that was an interesting Google. So before we went to the break, we were talking about who's going to represent teams at the NBA lottery on Tuesday night.
Yes.
And, sometimes...
Your usual suspects.
Patrick
Ewing's going to
Ewing,
be there.
And Dominic Wilkins, we all agreed, would be the Atlanta Hawks.
Is he not?
No.
Is it Spud Webb?
No, it's Jamie Gertz.
Jamie Gertz for the
how
Hawks.
We got here. Yeah,
because her husband's... Or she's one of the owners.
She is. So then when we saw the name, and I was like, wait a minute, there can't be two Jamie Gertz out there. She's an actress from the 80s, and it turns out it's the same Jamie Gertz.
You would know her. She was Jason Patric's girlfriend in the movie The Lost Boys.
She sure was.
Correct. Which brings us to another topic of conversation.
She met her husband, Tony.
From The Lost Boys. Are the Frog Brothers top 5 frogs?
Wow. I got to tell you what, Rosie the Riveter.
She might get bumped for the Frog Brothers.
The Frog Brothers going to go.
I mean, this is...
Thank you, Nick. This is why we make
This is one of Feldman's greatest roles, right?
The Frog Brothers are going in. Absolutely, they are. Yes. It's a must.
Thank you, Jamie Gertz.
Thank you, Jamie Gertz.
And thank you, Jason Patrick.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good one. Yeah, but she apparently, her husband is, into some started an investment firm and grew a lot of money. And the original, he's a big basketball fan.
Sure.
And the original team that they tried to get into was the LA Clippers.
Yeah.
Right when they had that fallout.
Yeah, with
was
Sterling.
Yes.
Right.
And then after that didn't go through. And then
But then Atlanta had a fallout. They had their own I'm totally not a racist thing.
Yes, they did.
Which is today's theme.
They're on the hot button.
Yeah.
Of as soon as someone says something bad in public, they're there to.
Jamie Gertz is like, let's get them.
Let's buy it. Let's buy it all.
Yeah.
So anyway,
great value.
I'm now watching the NBA lottery, pulling for Jamie Gertz and the Atlanta Hawks.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Because they got that one shooter down there.
Trae Young.
There you go. Here comes my NBA coming out. Like that guy.
He's could be something.
Yeah.
It was a fun team to watch this year. They scored points. They were fun.
It's gonna be better now that I know Jamie Gertz is running the show.
Yeah.
Jenny Buss. Just Jamie Gertz.
It's Jamie Gertz time.
Yeah.
Take a back seat, Genie Bus.
From Glenview, Illinois. I watched a lot of that show Still Standing.
Did you really?
In syndication, yeah.
I feel like you didn't, and you're just saying that.
I did.
I don't think anyone watched a lot of that show in syndication.
I did.
Name one thing that happened on the show Still Standing with Jamie Gertz.
The oldest son.
Yes.
Was always.
What's his name?
Brian.
Okay.
Was always into kind of nerdy things, and his dad was more like a football type of guy.
Is his name Brian Standing? Is it one of those shows?
No. The dad played he was an English actor, but he played a
Sir
Chicago
Ian McKellen?
guy. No, just stop it. You can Google things too.
No.
There's enough with the Jamie Gertz hour. I'm just happy for her.
Well, me too. Genuinely.
I wonder if she's going to be the only one there that's participating. How dare they say in this article here on NBA.com says Patrick Ewing to headline the participants of the lottery.
Jamie Gertz night.
He's old news.
Looks to me like Jamie Gertz is the one that's at the top of this list. Not because it's alphabetical or anything. Wait, not to be outdone. Cynthia Marshall, CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, is going to be there, so.
Ooh.
Hashtag me too. Don't forget that. Man.
What a
Everyone
night.
else, yeah, everyone else is just playing second fiddle to Jamie Gertz. All right, let me, originally what I was going to do is try to find some odds for us for these prices here.
I got you.
Oh, okay, what do you got?
All right. So overall, do you want the series or the overall winners?
Oh, by the way, thanks for Dave Lavora for just texting me. The dad in Still Standing was Robert Baratheon.
What?
On Game of Thrones.
What?
It was right. He's absolutely right. The dad on that show is Robert Baratheon.
Oh, man.
Dave Lavora coming through.
That is something Dave would know.
I should have known that. Because I like that guy. Because I remember being like, oh, that guy's dead now.
The only problem is you've never watched the show Still Standing.
I did
and
watch
you've made
it,
it
and
up
obviously Dave
just to
Lavora
try to
did
impress
too.
all your listeners.
No, I just impressed Dave Lavora, who took the time out of his busy day to text me to remind me that it's Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones, which we will talk about in about 13 minutes. So if people don't want to hear about what happened on episode 5, episode 5 of season 8.
Yeah. Episode 5, season 8, one left.
You don't, then the last block of it. Don't listen to all of our fun talk.
We're getting heavy.
Telling people to tune out.
Yeah, well, I don't know what else to tell him. I don't want him to be on the Vans Pizza Pub and Girl
It's
Facebook.
one of the
saying, "Why you
last 2 episodes. If you're not watching live, you don't care enough.
Well, there's these people out there who are doing I'm going to save them all. I'm going to give you a binge watch the whole thing. If you're doing that,
You bypass your rights.
buzz off.
You're done.
What's the prices that we got for these series?
All right. We got the Blazers at plus 375 against the Warriors, and the Raptors plus 250 against the Bucks.
If you're taking anything, you're taking the Raptors there, right?
If you're taking anything, you're taking the Raptors.
Overall, NBA championship winner, we got Warriors clocking in at minus 165, the Bucks plus 230, Raptors plus 750, and the Blazers your long shot at plus 1700.
I think the Raptors are the bet there too, right?
Yep.
I mean, let's say Durant doesn't come back.
He's coming back.
He's coming back.
It doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have to, but yeah,
he will.
Mhm.
And they're gonna crush.
And then they just let him walk, and they give max money to Klay Thompson, right?
Yeah.
And the NBA free agency is gonna be nuts this
Because he
offseason.
said, I know he said like
There's
after
so
that
many
game,
guys. Like,
the
so
owner
many-
said he's keeping the Splash Brothers together forever.
Sure, and they should, and all those guys should want to stay together, right? Like Durant, you can see him leaving, no problem, but
got to get rid of Draymond Green, right?
That's do you try to sign Durant and get rid of Draymond? That's the question.
They're both going.
They're both like no.
Durant's going to New York.
Yeah. Durant's not sticking around.
With Patrick Ewing?
No, Patrick Ewing, you already told me. He's a coach down in Georgetown. He just shows up for these things. He's an alumni.
Sure.
But yeah, Kevin Durant's going to New York.
You think so?
Did you see the odds to win next year's NBA playoffs, NBA Finals? They're like number 5.
The Knicks?
Yes.
That's so Knicks dumb. Like, that's 100% the optimistic Knicks fan who's like, oh,
no, that's Vegas saying
this
that
year we're going to get the free agents that we haven't been able to get for 20 years.
That's them trying
Durant,
to sucker
Zion Williams, Kyrie Irving.
So in this this version of the future, the Knicks not only win the
Near
number 1
future.
overall pick,
Yeah.
but they also get 2 like big name like max contracts.
You nailed it.
And then they have
What about
3 decent
maybe
players.
Kawhi Leonard too.
So Kawhi. So they're getting Kyrie, Kevin Durant,
Yes,
and
yes.
Kawhi,
Not Kawhi.
and Zion.
Not Kawhi. Kawhi will be with the Clippers or stay in Toronto.
I don't think Kawhi's staying in Toronto.
All right. Well, Kyrie, Durant, Zion, New York. That's what I'm telling you. The odds to win. They're the 5th. They have the 5th overall best odds to win the 2020 NBA championship.
That's insane.
They've won 8 games, I believe, in 8 playoff games since 2001. That's all. Not series, just games.
Right.
That's Vegas just want to make a lot of money.
It's
off
saving their rear end, is what it is.
Yeah,
'cause
no, that's.
they
Can
did-
we take the optimistic Knicks fan Rube money?
Bingo.
Because the story behind that is, and that's Doug Kazarian from Behind the Bets. He's saying that they learned from the decision because the Heat was like a very low price to win it.
Sure.
And then so like
So you
they're
jack
they're
up-
just
yeah,
saving
yeah.
their rear ends right now.
Right.
Before they're not going to be surprised by anything. That's
Oh.
just Vegas's way.
Play
of
it
doing
safe.
It. Yeah. And then obviously the odds will change if Durant doesn't go there. But right now, when they're released, that's crazy. It's craziness. But no, and then even if you put an investment at 165, you don't mind putting up more than you're going to win. I don't think it's bad to do the 165 for 100.
Yeah, I think
Right.
I'd take Toronto series price and then eat that kind of cruddy juice on the Warriors there.
But yeah, the other thing to look at is the future is like, can you do it? Get it under like, how many games can you get it under like 6 games or under 5 games? Golden State winning and Milwaukee, same thing. Because it's just going to be incredible. It's just going to be Giannis, give me the ball, move it, get out of the way, and then Kawhi is going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, then you're going to have to do what like we said at the beginning of the show, who's going to have the best role players?
Like, is it Middleton or is it going to be Lowry?
Eric
Is Lowry going to show up for one of these playoff games? Because every time you watch a playoff game, he's terrible.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, the thing about this, it will be kind of like what we were talking about earlier, laughing about people. That Kawhi Leonard is something else. NBA Finals, you'll have the people that only watch once a year be like, who is this Giannis? And how do you say that last name? Which is what I say almost every day. So.
Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo.
I think if
rolls off the top.
If people have never watched, they don't watch the NBA at all, and you have no idea who he is, and you watch a finals game and see him for the first time, people are gonna lose their minds, right?
Yeah.
Like, who is this freak show? Like, how is this guy 7 feet tall, and how does he do those things?
It is. Like I said, I enjoy the 3 steps from the half court and then just drill people, and you can't stop him.
And he's like 23.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't stop it. It's nuts. So, all right. Well, let's take our last break of the day, and then we got to talk about Ultimate Destruction, the Queen of the Ashes. So,
Jay,
Nick,
Magic time.
Oh yeah, been a long time. Sure.
It's American Craft Beer Week. What are you doing?
Woo! What am I doing? I tell you what, I know a place where there's $3 craft beers
Where?
and $5 flights.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's at Pikes, 5268 Utica Ridge Road, Davenport, Iowa. Northeast Davenport, right over there by the cinemas.
Was that 52608?
526D8.
Oh.
5268 Utica Ridge Road. $3 craft beers. American Craft Beer Week.
It's all week long?
All week long.
That seems too good to be true.
You know what else is kind of cool? We're gonna film a commercial on Wednesday.
Oh?
There, yeah.
Are the guys from Brood going to be there? And our friends at
are.
WQAD?
Yes, they will be there.
Is it going to start at 4:00 till 7?
What, the commercial shot?
The whole Brood scene, the whole big party.
4 to 7 on Wednesday.
$3 any craft beer all week long.
Yeah, and $5 flights. And you get to be in a commercial. You get to be QC famous. Hey, they're just handing out participations to Dancing with the QC Stars.
What?
So maybe if you're in a commercial and you star in one of these, you'll be the next person that can battle for the crystal ball. But it only can start if you make that initial step and star in our commercial.
If you could dance with one QC star, who would it be, Jay?
Matt Randazzo.
The Dazzler? Me
Yeah.
too. Yeah, he'd be good.
Yeah.
He's got a gentle hand.
I'll ask you this before we go to break.
Yeah.
We were breaking this down. Who is the top 5 most popular in the Quad Cities? Paul Sands goes 1, right?
PSL goes 1. Absolutely no question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me Sharon DeReek for my money.
I thought about that. I was trying to bring. I was like, why didn't we bring her up into 5?
She's great.
Wait, I gave these guys 2A and 2B. The Dwyer Michael
Oh,
show.
yeah, they're in there. Yeah.
I gave Dave and Darren up there as well.
That's number 1 in my heart.
Yes. And then we, I had to take out. Eventually had to take out Happy Joe Whitty.
What?
Yeah. It's just it's a place to eat. It's not. He's not. His face isn't out there as much anymore. So
What about the Hungry Hobo? Is he in there?
He's just a logo. Then you'd have Rudy's Tacos in there too.
Is
for
Rudy
logos.
in there?
Well, for logos, yeah.
I'm saying if he were a real person.
Unfortunately, Whitey's has to go for logos. We don't want to get into that.
Well,
Reasons why.
This is not a good time for this.
All right.
Anyway, that's Pints and 5268 Utica Ridge.
That's magic time is what that is.
Bang!
Yeah.
This is Lobo from Lobo Salsa. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
Download the ESPN 93.5 app today to get breaking news sent right to your phone. Never miss a thing from the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 93.5. Your home of the Chicago Cubs, Chicago Bears, and the only local sports show in the Quad Cities. Don't hassle us, we're local. Noon to 2 on the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 93.5.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
Excuse me.
Hey, this is the ladies' room, you freak!
Sorry, ma'am. We just sold this bike here.
So why do you have motorcycles in the bathroom?
Well, you see, Brenny's just received the new Suzuki motorcycles and ATVs that have been on order and are finally here. Along with all the parts and new Suzuki accessories, there's just no space left. Just a few short years ago, we built a 20,000 square foot showroom. And now with all this new inventory, we don't have squat for room. Excuse the pun.
Very funny. Hey, I do like this new Suzuki motorcycle.
You should see the GSXRs we got in the men's bathroom, or the 1200 Bandit, or the Marauder that we keep down in the wine cellar. Come to think of it, I've never been in the ladies' bathroom before. Wow, look at all the latex vending machines you got in here.
That's Playtex.
Yuck, now I gotta go.
Bernie's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf across from Alcoa. Almost.
Blue Jack. Memorial Day is just one day to save, but at Blue Jack Honda, it's Memorial May. That's huge Memorial Day Honda savings all month. Lease the new 2019 Honda CR-V LX for $299 a month with zero money down. Get to Memorial May at Blue Jack Honda.
Blue Jack.
Honda CR-V LX all-wheel drive, automatic 36 months, 12,000 mile per year lease, 0 plus 0 security deposit to its signing, plus tax, title, license, and 180 dock fee. Manufacturer incentives applied with approved credit. Ends 5/31/19.
ESPN 93.5 wants you to be an insider. Access great contests and giveaways and be in the know at ESPN935.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged, and ESPN Quad Cities. From local to global, ESPN 93.5 has you covered with your Quad Cities sports talk show. It's Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Talk sports with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, J-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays from noon to 2 on ESPN 93.5.
From the first pitch to the last out, you'll hear every inning of Chicago Cubs baseball on ESPN 93.5.
He's at the warning track. It's at the wall. So long.
Presented by Frick's Tap, Glenn's Creek Golf Course, G&G Retailers, Augustana College Athletic Department, Sexton Ford, American Family Insurance, Adam Rattler Agency.
Game over. Cubs win.
The Chicago Cubs are on the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here at ESPN 93.5 FM. We're here in the House Pals, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Security. It's 1:45 in the afternoon here on Monday, May 13th. we had episode 5 of Game of Thrones last night. If you don't want to hear this, you haven't seen it, I rarely will I tell you to,
We're going spoiler heavy.
Yeah, we're going spoiler heavy here. We only have a few minutes.
Brace yourself.
Apparently, West Coast Sports Center last night went a little spoiler heavy. The ESPN Sports Center, and everybody lost their minds.
What happened?
Michael Eaves, he tied it together the biggest stories of the night. Raptors, Sixers Game 7, and the Game of Thrones at the top of Sunday's 11 p.m. Eastern. So it would have been 9 or 10. Sports Center there, 8 there.
Last night?
Yes. So that was it. So the West Coast hadn't seen Game of Thrones yet.
Oh, no.
So he's reading the highlights of the Raptors game, and Eaves, he makes an analogy to the night's Game of Thrones episode, which was still an hour away from airing on the West Coast. So it referenced a character's highly controversial deaths, Cersei's. All right? So viewers out west who hadn't watched for other reasons got caught totally off guard by the spoiler and were raving mad at him. Like things from Anthony Rincon at Antonio DR. Man, you really dropped that line about Cersei during Sports Center. I had the show on record, but I'm about to check it out. But first, some highlights. I'm going to hope you're wrong. Can't even watch ESPN without the spoiler. Wow. Someone said, what was the worst? He wanted to get Kenny Mayne fired. At Kenny Mayne. What? At Kenny Mayne,
it's about
at ESPN,
time.
at Sports Center. Giving away Game of Thrones spoilers before the show even airs on West Coast. I'll never watch hashtag ESPN or hashtag Sports Center if you aren't fired. Unreal dude.
So was it Kenny Mayne or Michael Eaves?
It was Michael Eaves.
So what?
He didn't apologize for it. No, because the dude doesn't know what he's doing. The same thing. People just get upset. I want highlights, not Game of Thrones spoilers, you jackwagons. That guy's an absolute moron, whatever his name is.
Got him.
Got him.
We got him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so...
It's getting pretty intense, huh?
And then what's the thing that... Lavora, he tweeted something out because it's a word I never heard of, and now everybody's using it? Where was it at? It's the... Can you look up Lavora's tweet?
I'm on
it's
it.
Whatever the word means that it's the episode before the final episode.
The penultimate
Thank you.
episode, Jay.
And people are just on Twitter just loving to write penultimate. Anyway, the penultimate.
Yes.
The penultimate.
Nailed it.
Penultimate episode. Episode 5, season 8, Game of Thrones. I am telling you right now, I have no problem with any episode that's ever been a Game of Thrones. I've never said like, oh my God, that's terrible. How do they do that? So my opinion is not very strong as maybe yours two are.
You came in late to this party, right? You binged this probably like what, 3 years ago? You started banging through.
Yep.
And you're not a book reader. You're not.
I read books, just not these.
Right, not these ones. Right.
Yeah.
You're not one of these guys who's going to watch the episode 3 times and try to mine all the hidden meanings from it. You're
seen
very
an
much.
episode more than once.
You're very much. Johnny Dragonface is fighting the ice lady, and everyone's going to be like that's how you watch this.
They've
right?
all got weird names. I'll give them names to keep up.
Right.
Yes.
So people are like, some people are upset. I don't know where you stand on this.
Okay.
Upset about what? In what aspect?
Like the book readers, like the long timers, they feel like they've gotten shortchanged here. They feel like they're rushing to the end, and they are. They have to be. They feel like the plot of the show has derailed from the plot of the books, and it's not the same thing they loved.
What I'd say to those people, and I do have the box set of books if anybody wants to borrow those at any point.
Jay doesn't read books.
If you read those, do you want to watch the same exact thing that you've already read and know what happens year after year?
I agree. I feel like the show is a different thing than the books now.
It should be.
And it has been for a couple years. I don't think you can judge... And let's be honest, like Game of Thrones is better than 99% of all the TV shows that have ever been, right?
Yes.
It's
and
been
ever
great.
will be.
Right. And
oh, stop it.
You can't say that, Jay.
Oh, stop it. I mean, people would say the same thing about Breaking Bad. People would
It's
say
a
the same
reference
thing.
to the show.
Oh.
You're a casual observer.
Oh, what a dummy.
God.
Oh,
you want to turn your mic off and let the guys talk about this?
I'm going to keep failing you while the little guy keeps failing the mother dragons. I did a reference earlier. The mother, he'll drink. Why don't you just blame it on the mother's milk? That's what Sansa blamed at the start of this whole thing when she said, I couldn't see that. I didn't see if he hit the wolf. I was drunk on the mother's milk. And it all started with Sansa. If she could just tell the truth from the beginning, we wouldn't have this problem, which we have now. Let's take it to the start at the beginning of the episode.
All right, Varys goes down.
The bald guy.
Yep.
He's writing a letter to somebody.
Yeah.
This woman, the little girl comes in. She says, "The people are watching me." He's like, "I bet you they are."
The question is, did he get a letter out, and who's he sending this letter to? Who's left? Who's left to send this letter to?
I'm almost wondering if he was kind of trying to say, "Hey, go behind Daenerys' back and tell Cersei."
He's writing a letter to Cersei.
Like,
sure.
Hey, this guy's level-headed. We can team up and get rid of this crazy dragon lady because all she's bent on is power and destruction.
Who does he want to tell that to?
I think to Cersei. I think he's trying to send
because
a Raven of King's Landing and be like, "Hey,
he's trying to stop this before it all goes down."
Yeah, like you're gonna die.
That
we
would
have
make
a
sense.
peaceful.
I was wondering who's this letter to. Like, who could it possibly be to?
Yeah, and then he burns that letter so it never gets out. And
but did he get one out? Because it seemed like he was writing another letter. Like, who knows?
Yeah, because in the second letter he burns, or what we think he burns.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, he does say to Jon Snow, like, you flip a coin when a Targaryen's born.
Yeah.
And I think your coin's on the good side.
Yeah, and implying that hers was on the bad.
Yeah, and he's saying like, you're going to be a leader of men. I see this in your future. And he's like, that's my queen. Let's not do this. The little guy says to
Tyrion
says to Cersei, he's like, hey, I told you. Yeah, she says there's a deserter among us. Or someone's trying to overthrow me.
A usurper.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Penultimate.
Yeah. Keep going.
One of those words.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, there is. And then she's like, it's Jon Snow. And he's like, no, it's the bald guy. Right? And she's like, well, she traces it back to Jon Snow, which, by the way, it's also his fault. Tyrion.
Yeah.
How many times is the mother dragon's going to say,
one more time?
You fail me again.
Yeah.
And you are in big, big trouble if you fail me. How many times?
That is getting annoying because some people have crossed her once
and they get
she
toast.
kills
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So she's not really holding true with that.
That and like all he's done for the last like season and a half is just jam, like just jam, like everything just gets trashed. Everything he has his hand in.
Yes.
And this is the big problem with this show. That again, I've enjoyed it. I think it's a great show. I'm glad it's there. I'm happy to watch it. And at this point, however you end it, I'll be okay with it. Like the big thing is this should have been 2 seasons. Right? One season should have been the Night King. One season should have been the Aftermath.
I'm with you.
And that would give you time to build up this Daenerys heel turn, as opposed to it happening over the course of like 2 episodes jammed in, where you can really see her transformation from trying to be the breaker of chains into being the lady who murders a bunch of innocent children.
Because it's flipping a switch. It's
Right.
almost like they haven't allowed her character to develop enough.
After setting her up for 9 years.
Yeah, they're kind of cheapening this, and so I realize that they have a deadline.
Right.
They can only
Well,
produce so many.
and
seasons.
they can't like just paying the actors the production costs on the episodes. They can't keep doing this, and they can't keep waiting for George R.R. Martin to catch up. You got to get it done, or it's never going to get done. And so I get that part of it. It's not ideal, but it is what it is, right?
And nothing they're going to do is ever going to meet fans' expectations.
No,
'cause let's just say
Oh,
that
I
they're
can
so
tell you that
unrealistic.
next Sunday it's going to be nuclear heat. It's going to be Sopranos nuclear heat.
Oh, don't say Sopranos.
I'm telling. No matter what they do, somebody's
In
not going to
retrospect,
like
was
it.
The Sopranos ending that bad?
I didn't watch Sopranos.
No.
I just know it was not good.
Okay, in retrospect,
I know it was not well received.
Was the
Years later is now looked at it like, oh, I get the ending.
as far as like
from what I
this
understand.
last season goes, is it better or worse than the last season of Still Standing with Jeremy Gertz? Jay, in your opinion?
Now, do I couldn't even tell you. It's that's they're all over the place there. I mean,
Like you didn't like how that one ended either?
Yeah,
because you read all the books, and you're like, "This isn't true. This isn't what the characters really are."
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think there was something to do with King of Queens in between there. They had some type of thing going on with this Still Standing. But let's not get into that. All right, so they burn the bald-headed guy. Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
because he traded her.
Barry's got to go.
Tyrion's like, I did this.
And Tyrion's like, "Trust me, she's great. Everything's gonna work out."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I hope I'm murdered and I'm wrong." And he was not wrong.
All right, so then Tyrion just still flirting with I'm everybody's gonna do the right thing. I don't know why he has this way, but then he goes and he's like, "Listen, Jamie, if you go save Cersei, the queen will ring the bell. The queen will be fine. So
Everything's
everyone else-
great.
and everything's fine. I mean,
For being the smartest dude, apparently, in the show, and being regarded
The
as
most
the
clever
smartest
man in
guy,
the world.
He's like the dumbest guy.
and
when it comes
Jamie's
to
the only
strategy.
one to point out the realness of it. And he's like, "You're a dead man."
Well, he's like,
and he's like, "Well, better than thousands, one."
like he ended up having that like Stark decency and optimism, which got all the Starks murdered, basically.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Other than Arya, I suppose. But
Yeah.
even Arya went dark to stay alive, right?
Yeah.
So like now he's doing this. No, everyone could get along. Like she's decent people.
And this is going to be the end we see of Tyrion, and only time we see him the rest of the time is when he just kicks ashes around after they've burned everything.
And he goes, "Oh,
just-
no."
He walks around like with his hands behind, and he just goes up and he's like, "Yep, still dead. They're
Now
burned."
he's AWOL.
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
walking around.
We don't know where he is now, right?
Well,
Yeah,
he's got a jet because
He's gotta get out,
she's
yeah.
gonna know that he freed.
We
Jamie.
don't know who rang the bell.
No. Well,
because it wasn't Jamie.
Before this all happened,
Yeah.
we had that scene with Daenerys and Jon Snow.
Oh yeah,
Where
that was-
like
oh, boy.
they're making out a little bit, and he's like, "Eh," and she's like, "Well, I guess it'll be fear then."
Yeah,
so now
yeah.
those two,
Because he says, "You are my queen," and she's like, "That basically like that." But let's find out if that's if that's all I am to you. Because what she was saying is,
Right.
that, "Am I also your aunt?"
Right.
That you can't go through with it, and he couldn't go through with it. And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna rule by fear."
Yeah.
Dang.
Did you catch the preview for?
I did the next week. I didn't see it. No, you?
Oh, he doesn't watch previews. Probably don't.
Yeah,
give
I
him
try not
spoilers.
to, yeah.
I won't then. Yep.
Anyway, there's been people out there pointing out that if John would have just taken one for the team, maybe some things would have happened here.
He could talk her off the ledge.
Well, she would have been like, "Oh, I am your queen, and I'm not. You see me as my queen and not my."
Was he
not
supposed
your
to marry his aunt?
They don't. The Targaryens don't care.
Yeah,
It's that whole blind loyalty that got his pseudo dad Ned in trouble. It's being
The
loyal.
Starks are the worst in this show. They are the worst.
But they're also like the most decent.
Yeah.
Well, that's like-
why
But that's the
they're
whole thing
worst.
with Game of Thrones is like your decency gets you punished, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to be.
But the Starks' big thing is their word, and every one of them breaks it throughout the show.
Well, he's trying not to break his word.
He's not a Stark.
But
yeah.
But he also pledged allegiance to Dany.
You know what? He also pledged allegiance to the Night Walk, and he broke that allegiance too.
Well, he died.
No,
To the Night's
he
Watch?
wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to.
He was murdered.
He wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to have relations with another
Oh,
woman, and he
stop
did.
it.
He broke it.
You're gonna do that now.
Dude, anything goes north of the wall. It's like Vegas, man.
Yeah.
What happens there
didn't know
stays
that.
there.
I don't, obviously, I didn't read the books. All right. So anyway,
It's like Betplex.
they ring the bell. They ring the bell. She's up on their dragon, and she's like, "Nope." And so this is supposed to be one. Here's do you watch any of the producers afterwards?
No.
Producers are saying that she won, and maybe this is why she keeps around Tyrion, because she doesn't have anybody, and she says, "I'm all alone." She says that to Jon Snow. She doesn't have anyone. Anyone she trusted would always die. The one chick that was on top of the
Miss Sunday.
Miss Sunday.
Yeah.
If North.
Yeah. And then the guy that she was always teasing along.
Jorah Mormont?
Sir Jorah Mormont.
Yeah, that guy is gone too. So maybe that's why she keeps him around. But the producer's saying that
Scaly skin. That's
and
what
then,
he calls him.
And then he looks at the castle. She looks at the castle that her ancestors built, and then that was taken away from her. And then she decides to torch the place.
Which doesn't make sense. Like her whole thing's been sit on the throne, be the queen.
Right.
And she said, "I won't be the Queen of Ashes."
And she makes a weird turn. Well, and like the week before was a bad episode, right? Like the week before, I did not think was great in a lot of different ways. But last week, you had two dragons, and they get surprised by Euron Greyjoy hiding behind a rock again, even though you're in the sky. And he's got like, stop being surprised by this boat's behind a rock. But they kill one of the dragons, and she takes off. And she could have easily done what she did this episode, where you go around to the side where the crossbows can't actually shoot at you, and you burn everyone down. She could have done that last week. She didn't. She took off and left all of her people basically to get slaughtered. This week, the dragons, which were so susceptible and so easily taken down last week, that one dragon can burn down everything in like 20 minutes. Like burn down everything, and nothing's ever a problem.
I don't know anything about dragons, but I'm trying to figure out where they refuel.
There's no refueling.
They have unlimited fire. I mean, even in a Nintendo game, you got to go like eat something. Even
They always got those little goat patches, you know, it's like burned with like all the bones.
You just tie a couple goats
How
to the
much
side of
fire
the dragon.
can a dragon? I mean, it's got to like eventually a Bic lighter's going to run out.
Goats.
Not last night. That dragon just burnt things down.
Are we sure that Jaime and Cersei are dead?
No.
Yeah, they have to be dead.
Are we okay with that ending with Cersei?
No. It was, that was a really great bad character, historically great character. She deserved a better death, right?
Well, gentlemen, we got to do this again on Monday. It's just next Monday.
You come back next Monday? I'm coming back next Monday. Let's close out the Thrones.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll see you guys later. You guys have a hassle-free Monday. Thanks for listening.
Happy Frog Day.
Yeah.
KJOC Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. No Kevin Durant for the Warriors in Game 1 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals tomorrow against the Blazers. 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. ESPN's Ramona Shelburne reporting the star forward's out with a strained calf. He'll have the calf re-examined Thursday. It's unlikely he plays in Game 2 Thursday night. The Warriors need to be cautious with Durant when determining if he plays in the series, believes ESPN's Tim Legler.
That's an injury that could be, there's a lot of different levels to that and what you're feeling, and also the chances of